Hey Internet, I'm Hawk, and this is Nerd Talk Thursday. I like the NCR, but I often wonder if they're really a good thing for the wasteland. The following is a collection of some observations and opinions. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy, but comment below and let me know what you think. The NCR offers many things most people would agree are good. Its society is open to all walks of life, it has no racial discrimination, and it accepts mutants and ghouls. Its territories offer safety and law to most who live within them. It strives to emulate the most powerful nation the world has ever seen, but in its attempt to obtain the ideals of its predecessor, it fails to realize the foundation on which it's built is weak. The idea of America was always greater than what it became. The NCR has unwittingly taken up all of the flaws and dreams of a nation that proved it could never stand the test of time long before the bombs fell. The NCR was formed in 2189 as a federal republic. Born from the ashes of California, it adopted the image of the two-headed bear. The governing bodies of the NCR see the nation as a successor to the US, and while it borrows much from the old world, it is both a reflection and a pale shadow of the titan that came before it. Starting off in the small town of Shady Sands, the NCR's first president was a man named Aradesh, who remained president from 2189 to 2196. Elections are held every 5 years with no term limits. Some argue that while the NCR claims a free and open democratic system, corruption and intimidation have ensured that lobbyists get to choose who stays in office and who's blacklisted from ever serving. The most powerful factions that hold sway over the government of the NCR are the Farmers' Committee and the Brahmin Barons. The Brahmin Barons in particular are ruthless, cutthroat capitalists to the core. They will buy out or wipe out anyone who stands in their way. The NCR has fallen into the same trap as the old nation before it, where the government only listens to those rich and powerful enough to fund it and line the personal pockets of those who work within it. This ensures that despite having a democratic system on paper, the federal government will never listen to the needs of its people. Money will always come first in the eyes of politicians. An unfortunate universal truth, no matter the time. The economy of the NCR is more complex than any we've yet seen in the wasteland. They have printed money and a relatively functional treasury. By 2281, the value of a single NCR dollar is about 40% that of a cap. Caps are backed by fresh water. The NCR dollar was backed by gold, but a vast quantity of this gold was stolen by the Brotherhood of Steel during the conflict between those two nations. After this loss, the NCR dollar became a fiat currency, much like our US dollars today. The value of the dollar was determined by the government, not any tangible assets. This rapid and forced change caused panic in the populace, and the value of the NCR dollar dropped significantly. With the dollar being backed by nothing, inflation was inevitable, and the best way to prevent economic depression is war. The NCR is a militaristic, expansionist nation. Anyone they set their sights on has no say in the matter of annexation. They annexed everything from small towns and factions like the Desert Rangers to whole cities and states. Even if it seemed like there was a choice, it's always an illusion. In the eyes of its government and even a good deal of its people, the NCR is inevitable. None of the places they've annexed could have won a fight against the NCR. This rapid and sometimes violent expansion went on until the nation held 5 states, not including contested territories on or past the borders. They thought they were the only ones with a standing army large enough to continue this practice until they found Hoover Dam. The economy of the NCR could not afford to stop expanding and growing. This is the same problem we face today. Infinite growth is impossible in all things, and war is the answer to economic troubles for a nation like the NCR. The military of the NCR takes care of its own, but it is ruthless to its enemies. This may seem warranted in the war with the Legion, given the depravity of their enemy, but for all the civilization the NCR claims to bring to the wasteland, they too can be quite barbaric. While holding the line and waiting for the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, the generals and politicians of the NCR found that they were spread too thin. Their zealous need to take this new golden opportunity for power, both political and electric, blinded them to just how far they had expanded in such a short period of time. They also underestimated the ingenuity and cunning of both Mr. House and the Legion. The Legion is unlike anything the NCR has faced before. At face value, they seem tribal and simplistic, foolish even, and in many ways they are. But the Legion is insidious. They will attack from without and within. Legion informants, double agents, strike teams, raiding parties, and spies are plentiful in the Mojave. If the only enemy of the NCR was the Legion, maybe they would be okay. But they're in a war on 2 fronts. The battle for New Vegas is not fought with guns and cannon. It's not loud or bloody. It's not apparent to most, and it may even sound like a crazed conspiracy to some citizens within the NCR, but it's very real. Mr. House is just as big of a threat to the NCR as the Legion, maybe even more so, because this is a war for hearts, minds, and money. Some higher-ranking members of the military and government see this for what it is. The New Vegas Treaty allows Mr. House to keep sovereignty over the Strip, and since it's the biggest center for entertainment in the entirety of the NCR, vast quantities of NCR citizens travel there to spend their caps on anything a wastelander desires. This is bleeding the NCR economically in a way they didn't anticipate. If the Legion were out of the picture, the NCR may have taken the Strip by force. They absolutely could have done so, but the cost would have been devastating. By the time of 2281, the NCR is in between a few rocks and a few hard places. No matter what happens at the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, the NCR seems to have set itself up for failure. If they win, when the dust settles, they will still have a weak economy, and their military will be even more thinly stretched than it was before the battle. This could lead to a loss of control in their territories, including the Mojave. It could cause a cascade effect, rolling failures of systems and structures that will lead to its eventual fall. The NCR was a good dream, an ambitious populace from a small town that hoped to build a nation from the ashes of the old world, a nation that would guide and eventually carry humanity into a better future. All people wish to live in peace and prosperity, and to leave this world better than it was when they came into it. But we tend to be slow learners. Without having seen what America really was firsthand, the NCR is doomed to repeat its failings. The old world burned because nations were too proud, too corrupt, too greedy, and too careless. The NCR and Legion both tried to recreate dead civilizations without ever asking why those civilizations are gone. Their pride blinds them to the road they travel. Their corruption prevents them from allowing any change in favor of the people and stability. Their greed ensures they will never stop seeking to take from those around them. A nation the size of the NCR does not fall overnight, but by the time of 2281, its decline is far from new, and its end seems unavoidable. Will the NCR completely collapse? Will chaos reign on the West Coast? Will a new threat wipe it out in its weakened state? Will it reform into something more authoritarian, spitting in the face of its own creators? Only time will tell. The tale of the NCR is a tragic one of hope and passion for justice, for peace, one of degradation and loss of identity, one of pain and war, of economic hardship and corruption. The NCR is many things, but is it truly good for the wasteland? Is the world doomed to forever repeat the mistakes of nations past? You decide. Thank you for listening to this tired bird sing. We would like to, as the name implies, talk of better worlds here, but sometimes you need to talk about how to make a bad world better. Please let us know what you think down below, like and subscribe, and thank you for listening.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Give us a like if you enjoyed it, and dislike it if you didn't.
Let us know what you think about the channel.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Tell your mom.